No, no, I can't do that, man. You guys are gonna have to give me like a free donator rank for my troubles, man. I can't. You can't just delete my town, my hard work, one of the oldest towns in Ar-Selukk, and then just be like, oh, we'll just rebuild it. No, no, I need some reparations, baby. I need something.
You should have been in our town. You should have been the diplomat, man. You could have gotten us great stuff.
Oh yeah, I would have, man. I would have definitely gotten the admin's head. I'd be like, man, come on, bro. Listen, every
Whether it had a full India. You got it okay?
Yep, everything's good.
Oh, there you go. Cool, nice.
So what's good, y'all? Welcome back. We've already started the recording, by the way. But what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the third installment of the Ithero V1 revisiting. Today we are in Ar-Selukk. If you guys saw by the title, the land of deserts. It's kind of like Roth, but a little bit more identifiable with just regular MC players. And today we have actually don't introduce yourself. Love this game.
Yeah, cool. So I'm FairyDL. I was the 4th Vizier of Ar-Selukk, and I was mostly active on Ethere's during V1. I was around for a little bit during V2, but not so long.
Yeah, and the interesting about like all my other tour guides, I remember you in my short stint in Ar-Selukk, which is about like 2 weeks. I don't know if we're gonna be able to locate my town, but yeah. So people who don't know Vizier, that's basically nation head. But yeah, so it's kind of cool to have you on, definitely, because we're gonna have a different perspective than the other two guests, as they weren't nation head. So you probably have even more stories of your time in Ar-Selukk, and Ar-Selukk is a very interesting place. Let me tell you. So for people that don't know Ar-Selukk, it's a nation, but it's not a united nation. Every town is its own individual entity. Other towns can war with each other, and that kind of just creates an interesting environment. So, I mean, am I correct?
Yeah, 100%. It had some weird changes every once in a while where it was like quasi-united, but it was, in the lore, it was this like anarchist nation, so every town in here could kind of just do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I don't even know, how do you even be a nation head in that? I mean, don't you just, is there even a point at this point? Because, like,
so it was almost down to interpretation in a way. The first guy, Chad McCoy, and then the second guy as well, Lazarite, were both just like, they were kind of just had the title and would do building and things like this, or would do some PvP. So they were kind of just a guy who was around who was also the nation head. The third guy tried to actually unite the nation and make it very more formal. So it was kind of down to interpretation. I mostly did events and roleplay stuff and things like this. So I tried to do building events or community events and things like this, where it was just sort of a supportive staff type of role. Okay. So yeah, it changed per person pretty much.
Yeah. So and you weren't with the Unite. You were there with all the wars. Like you love to see what happens with SANDSTORM BASIN, which we're gonna get to that, and like there's other towns and stuff like that. You were like kind of interested in what they were doing. That's you weren't trying to like disrupt the flow of everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, SANDSTORM BASIN is a good example because they just went to war with a bunch of people every once in a while, and then they would stop even. There were even like treaties and stuff like this that they did. So it was very much so they had total free reign over what they were doing. Wintersong was another famous example where Wintersong basically declared war on like the entire server, and were like kicked out of or banned from like every single nation except Ar-Selukk, because for the anarchist nation we didn't care. It was like, yeah, you guys can stay here, just don't murder us all the time and we're good.
That's crazy. So I actually heard the story on my Roth one. I don't know if you saw this, but there was a group of people that got actually banned from Ar-Selukk. Like, and I was thinking, what the hell do you have to do to get banned from Ar-Selukk? Ar-Selukk is a place, it's a complete honesty. Like, what do you have to do? Like,
I wonder who that was. I think I remember. I saw your Roth video, but I was trying to remember as you went through that story. Like, I don't specifically remember someone being kicked out. The only two I remember was the pirates used to be part of Ar-Selukk. Like, the pirate guild were part of Ar-Selukk.
mm-hmm.
And the guy before me, with some of the staff and with like the actual guys within the pirate guild themselves, like all agreed that the pirates should leave the nation because basically they were just attacking everyone, and everyone was like declaring a general war on Ar-Selukk as a sort of mistake.
Well, I mean, like,
so they left. I remember that.
But where would they go at this point? Would they become their own nation, or just
the pirates? I think they were the first guild to become their own nation, maybe. Well, not a nation, but like they just didn't have a nation.
Was this Valinta?
I'm not. Yeah, Valinta Carta.
Oh, so
I'm
they
not
were
quite sure if other ones did it like that.
Okay, so that's a pretty interesting tidbit of information. So Valinta Carta actually started in Ar-Selukk, but they were so bad they got kicked out of Ar-Selukk. Like,
yeah, not by me, it was by another guy over here.
Jesus Christ. Was this is probably the guy that tried to unite everyone.
That was him, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he agreed with them, like it was a cordial decision, you know, but yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you know, I love to sit here and chat, but we need to go see some towns, because that's what we do.
We do. They're pretty cool. I really like this capital, actually.
Yeah, for real. This and probably Aloreh's capital is probably my favorite, I think, in building terms, like in terms of just build style.
That's fair.
Like they're gonna go play football.
Of course, by it, I always preferred this.
Okay, we're at the first town. So what is this called?
So this was the monastery. Whether it had a full name beyond that, I can't even remember. Oh, SANDSTORM Monastery is what it was called.
SANDSTORM. Okay, yeah. And this is
so this was very much so like a big lore town and roleplay town. It's kind of one of the only ones on the server, to be honest.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one element of I'm about to say LTC. Athos Ascendant that was kind of not as prominent is the RP aspect, and I wish it was, because there's a lot of interesting things you can do with RP. Like, take it from me, who like does like recordings and plays on RP servers. There's a lot of things, but I don't think it would go well with the other, like with the community. And I know they tried. But they gotta come.
Yeah, I mean, it had really interesting lore and a very interesting story and so on. So it could have been really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think just it was a mix of things. I mean, there wasn't enough even mechanics and such to strictly encourage it. And I remember Vorsk and the likes, I don't think were particularly interested in like how much roleplay was going on in the server.
Yeah, I think
so. It didn't rise up very much.
Yeah, because I remember Boyce actually talking about it in the chat. Like, he said basically PvPers bring the money, PvPers bring the interest, the clout, whatever you want to call it. And so that's why they don't really push RP as much. But like mechanically, you don't have to add too much. Maybe an RP chat, maybe something where you can create a character, like little things like that can go a long way. But yeah, interesting first time for sure. I'm surprised that Ar-Selukk even had a church, because I mean it's Ar-Selukk. But I mean,
yeah, I mean lore-wise, it was along the line. It's supposed to be a sort of like I said, it's anarchistic, but it's kind of also supposed to be a like religious dictatorship within the capital. So these guys picked up on that and like pushed on the religion side. So this was like the temple of the nation, and it had like the person who built it. I think he was what was his name? Phoenix something or other. I think he had something to do with the original lore writing. That's the story I heard, at least.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, he was a very big role player when he was around. But that was like very early on in version 1 of Theories.
Yeah. Wait, how? Wait, what? When did actually version one of theories actually start? Was it 2011 or 2012?
That's a good question. I'm fairly sure I joined in like early 2012. It was definitely around for a little while before I joined. Like the monastery already existed when I joined.
Okay.
So maybe late 2011. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, I'm at this interesting looking place over here. What is this?
See,
It's like, so I guess this is another part of the monastery, huh? This like maybe the housing district. This is where all the priests
yeah,
live.
I think it's not within the town borders, but yeah, it's part of it. When I first joined, one of the people I spoke to first was actually one person from the monastery and then one person from the pirates, you know.
Oh.
And I built like a shitty little like hidden house at the side of one of these mountains. I think it was this mountain. I stayed there for like a month. So, but yeah, it's probably long gone by now.
So this is FairyDL's first home here, guys. History. This is history. So this is your first
History,
nation.
indeed.
This is like you never lived in another nation.
I never lived in another nation. I was fucking obsessed with Ar-Selukk.
That's crazy. Like
we had like a cult like group in this nation. Like if you came here, you really stayed. You know, we all knew each other perfectly as well. I'm surprised actually when I first joined. I specifically had the goal of like living in every nation and being this sort of like vagabond character and doing all this traveling stuff. But I just didn't. I just stayed in Ar-Selukk the whole time. I liked it so much.
you just love
So
the heat.
yeah, it's a bit surprising. Yeah, just like here, it's surprising to me that you were able or willing to like travel as much as you did.
It wasn't even really willing. If you like kind of heard my story a little bit, like, and basically I'll kind of keep it short. We lived in Roreg Logh. We lived in a small ass island. It was really boring, so we moved to Roth. And then I moved to Butterfly Haven after my town kind of dissolved. And then the leader that got kicked out of our town because he wasn't a great leader was also one of my best friends. I think he made a town somewhere in Ar-Selukk, like really far near the ocean. And like, because he was trying to start over again. I mean, it was a massive fail, but he was trying to start all over again.
Okay.
And so he invited me to his town, and it was just like this shitty, small ass, little sand island in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, dude, we can't do this, man.
Do you remember his username?
Zane Tank.
Tank. I've got a list here of all the towns from 2013.
You're not gonna be able to find it, man.
Leaders.
If you do, then you're something special.
No, I don't see him on the list, unfortunately.
What is this town now? It's just like a big
let's
wall,
see.
but it's quite nice.
Okay, so this appeared later. This is a complicated story because I'm not quite even sure of all the details.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly certain this is what became of Sandstorm Basin.
Oh, so this
Fairly
is like
sure.
the infant stages of Sandstorm Basin, but they didn't want to live too. This is way too close to the nation capital.
Yeah, and I popped on here earlier today just to sort of reorientate myself and try to remember everything in the nation again. And there's actually a bunch of towns that are really close to the nation capital. So I think they all started later, towards the end of the year. I'm pretty sure this, or at least it's nearby, is Sandstorm Basin itself. Let me get the coordinates of Sandstorm. Basically, what happened was Sandstorm used to be further up north.
Yeah.
And towards the end of V1, I actually don't remember this to be honest, but towards the end of V1, they all, like most of them left, and then they terraformed over their own town. So like they contacted the staff, the admins, and deleted their whole town,
Okay.
moved it down here. So I think this is all that remains of the legendary Sandstorm Basin, unfortunately.
Wait.
I really wish we could see the old. It was such a famous town.
So this is the first Sandstorm Basin.
No, this is what they built after they deleted their original town.
Oh. Oh,
They didn't finish it before V1 ended.
so this is about to be the new and improved Sandstorm Basin. So
Yes,
the old one,
exactly.
the old one, that's deleted. We can't even see that anymore.
Yeah, it's just some mountains, unfortunately.
Oh, that's crazy. But damn,
It's disappointing because Sandstorm was so famous. They were all over the place. They had like all these histories and a bunch of wars. There was a big around the time when I became the nation head, or joined the staff rather. They had just ended like a huge like nationwide war between, I think, all 5 nations. It was called like the Treaty of Sandstorm Basin. The guy before me, the nation head before me, like created it and struck a deal with the Sandstorm Basin guys, and it was like this big thing that everyone tried to make, and they were really famous around it.
that's what I'm saying. What the crazy part is, they weren't even the strongest nation or strongest town in Ar-Selukk. That's the scary part. It was really Wintersong. I heard, and I said this name a lot, but I heard Wintersong had some of the best PvPers to ever come on to Ithero and just form their own little town and dominate everybody.
Wintersong basically changed the series PvP, like full stop.
Why do you say that?
They were huge. Actually, let me see if I can find. Let's move to Wintersong next. Actually, since we're talking about this.
Yeah, might as well. Good transition.
Let me get my comments up. Yeah, this is the mighty Wintersong.
And so you were saying that it changed PvP. Like, kind of elaborate on that more, because that's pretty interesting. Jesus Christ, it was.
So I should say first, I wasn't a PvPer, so I'm not. Even though I was around during this time when they joined Ar-Selukk, I'm not like so up to date with everything that was going on. From my perspective, from like this sort of perspective of someone who didn't really interact with PvP much, there used to be a bunch of wars, mostly I think it was Aloreh who usually won, and then Ithero a lot as well.
Yeah, Aloreh.
But it would be like the whole nation wins as a collective effort. Wintersong came along out of nowhere. They joined Vrovona first, and they single-handedly took on every single nation, like every United Nation. It was insane.
Jesus Christ! And they even had Sky Islands. Is this where they lived?
No, that's a different town.
Oh,
so they live in this wooden place. This like it's really small. Yeah, so they were kicked out basically for, let's say, political reasons, and they like had nowhere else to go, so they came to Ar-Selukk.
And that's what you said.
This sort of hatred with them, basically. So people again tried to start invading. They didn't really. I don't remember other towns in Ar-Selukk being invaded that much. But yeah, like there would be massive. I remember specifically a huge army outside these gates right here, and I was stealthed, hiding on the walls, just sort of looking, sort of waiting for Wintersong to win, because they were so heavily outnumbered. And miraculously, somehow or other, they absolutely trash everyone who fights them. It was really something to know. They were such a crazy town.
The thing about it is, like, they're probably like they probably have such good leadership, and like they're so like all of them are great PvPers, but they're like really good in organized fights. So like numbers don't really matter. They don't apply when they fight these guys, like, at all.
Yeah,
and imagine,
pretty much.
This kind of speaks to how good they are, because defending is usually harder than raiding. Like, usually raiders have the advantage, but you're defending and you're completely outnumbered and you still win. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah. So the guy, one of the viziers after me, was a guy called Mischief. He used to be in my town, actually. He was quite into PvP, and I do remember asking him, like, sort of for his perspective on what happened during Wintersong's days. And it was along the lines of they were extremely well organized. So the leader would call out one name, and everyone jumps in that player. Like, everyone kills that one name.
Yeah. He's back at 50. Nino's at 50. I'm in a web.
Yeah, focus that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And from what I gather, everyone else started copying this afterwards.
Yeah.
That's sort of how the rest of the server caught on.
Yeah.
I should add, there was one extra detail that's a little bit dodgy. I'm not even sure of the facts of it and so on. Supposedly they were extremely good with macros. So they found out ways to like link the macros of multiple players. So one ability is like Smite, I think it was called, and it was like it attacks the nearest guy closest to you automatically. I heard that they had like macros where one player presses, a single keyboard button, and like every character in the party who has Smite ability uses it instantly, and it will like basically one shot whoever's closest. So I think they had some stuff like that coming.
Yeah, that's like some amazing strategy.
The town that you were walking about, that's outside Winter Song, like with the random sort of colourful different houses, that was Monte Cristo Market. Do you want to teleport to me again?
Yeah, teleport to you, man.
This spot. This was Monte Cristo.
Okay, yeah, Monte Cristo. Yeah, I do. I recognize the name. And so this was like right next to Winter Song during their heyday, or you made this after they left?
Made this before they arrived, is what I remember.
They just kind of pushed their way in?
No. It was pretty, like, the towns were pretty close, but we did have a deal that, like, because it was a market town, they wouldn't attack anyone going through there. In fact, when they joined, there was a lot of fear in Ar-Selukk of, like, okay, we're anarchists and so on, but a lot of towns didn't PvP, and then this famous PvP town was coming over. So there was kind of this fear that like everyone was going to get murdered, basically. And they agreed, like, they were nice guys. Like, they agreed almost instantly to like, yeah, don't worry. Like, we'll only fight PvP towns. We're not going to mess around with people. We'll just walk around your nation.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I think
honorable.
they did have some like big fights with SANDSTORM Basin, but that was because there were two PvP towns in the same nation.
Oh, we had the Monte Cristo Inn.
That's where I spent most of my time. Yeah.
Did people actually sleep in the inn, or was it like just more of
I hosted small events in the inn, but they would be like very small. They would be like, I put in the nation chat, there's a travelers gathering happening or something like that, and if anyone was interested in roleplay, then they would join in. But yeah, nobody really stayed in the inn. The floating islands I should quickly mention was Lumeria, another famous town. They had a bit of a weird history. They were in Ithero, if I remember right.
Oh, I do remember Ithero. They were in Ithero for sure. I remember that name. Lumeria.
Yes. So they had big trouble with like questing beasts or something like this. This was early days. And I think they were these guys were probably the original ones who were like kicked out of some nation and then were sent to join Ar-Selukk, which we kind of gained a reputation of.
Yeah.
I think they were the first.
Second Chance Nation. Yeah, I got you. Whoa, this looks like it wasn't fully built. Oh, maybe it was. Just imagine living in this town and one day you just get on, you fall off and lose everything. Yeah, it's actually one of the most like kind of unique towns I've seen on Ithero. Is like with the whole idea of it just being floating and stuff like that.
Well, it's cool, yeah, nice town. The people frequently died from falling off the edge. So I do remember like constantly like crystals just fell to her death and all this stuff. Non-stop.
I mean, like that's not hard to believe at all. 'Cause I know if I was in this town, I would definitely be falling off every 5 seconds. So we are in the legendary FairyDL Old Town. So what's the story behind this? How did you even come up with building this? And what is this town called, by the way?
So this is Sorrentos.
Sorrentos, okay.
It wasn't originally my town. It was built by a guy called Little Fat Man, excuse me. He left eventually. Funny enough, it was then given to a guy called Just Jeff, who was the Vizier before me, and then he left for long list of reasons. and then I became leader of this town.
Oh, so it was like an inheritance type of thing. Like you just kind of got it because nobody else wanted to be in this town apparently.
Kind of. I mean, I wasn't much of a player to. I don't know. At the very beginning of the series, I wasn't much of a guy to be like, yeah, I want to organize this and that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I wasn't interested in being mayor of this town, but it just sort of ended up that way.
This is actually sort of a big town, though. Yeah. Or these walls. Oh, they don't really spread the entire. Oh, this is just the outside. This is the outskirts. I'm about to say. This is the actual town. Okay.
Yeah.
So was there like a lot of
players?
It
was like near finished, unfortunately. It was one of the oldest towns in the nation, and still it's not finished. In our defense, it was one time accidentally deleted. It was like accidentally deleted by one of the staff.
Oh.
We never found out who did it.
So it probably wasn't an accident.
No, I'm sure it was, but the thing is, there used to be like this sort of, I think it was an old iteration of SANDSTORM Basin. It was like right outside here, but it wasn't a town. It was just sort of this like reefed, messy thing with a giant tower in the middle. And we think what happened was someone tried to delete that mess basically, and went a bit too far and accidentally deleted like a huge chunk of our town. Wait, so we had to rebuild from scratch.
Wait, what? They didn't like just like put it back, or is that like not? That's not possible.
They rebuilt the walls for us by them, like with creative mode and so on. And then they were trying to get it rolled back, and I remember there being a lot of difficulty with that.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, we just eventually said, you know what, we'll rebuild. Like, we can make it better if we get rid of all these buildings. You know, we can reimagine the town. So we just kind of.
No, I can't do that, man. You guys are gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to give me like a free donator rank for my troubles, man. I can't. You can't just delete my town, my hard work, one of the oldest towns in Ar-Selukk, and then just be like, oh, we'll just rebuild it. No, I need some reparations, baby. I need something.
You should have been in our town. You should have been the diplomat, man. You could have gotten us great stuff.
Oh yeah, I would have, man. I would have definitely gotten the admin's hand. I'd be like, man, come on, bro. Listen, every person in this town, we need donator ranks. We need. I don't even know. We need a couple more plots.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 euro for our troubles. And a free chest shop. Yeah, but this is actually pretty nice. I like the architecture for sure. The houses are pretty cool. It's probably a blessing in disguise, huh? Actually, if you get your town got deleted, so you guys were able to rebuild this and make it look really nice.
In the end, that's how I felt about it, and I think a lot of the other players felt the same. Because it had just changed mayorship, and yeah, I mean, we were sort of thinking of like restructuring parts of it anyway.
Yeah.
And we were, no one really wants to remove manually all their stuff. Nobody really wants to like destroy so much stuff. So we weren't willing to do the actual important part of restructuring a town. So by coincidence, someone else did it for us apparently. So yeah, it was okay.
Oh,
yeah, I'll point out this arena. It's like basically part of the capital, but it was player built. It's like a build competition that we had.
Yeah, I do remember this is on the Gazamo network.
On the website, you mean?
No, on the YouTube channel. I thought I remember seeing this on the YouTube channel.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
So this is where you have like gladiator battles and all that stuff?
Yeah. We had a few of those type of fights. It was mostly a building project, to be honest. I'm not sure how much it was actually used for PvP. And also other nations had like far more impressive ones. But this was a nice thing that like we sort of did as a nation.
This actually looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie, like that's one thing about me. Like I wish I was a little bit better at building, man. Like I'm gonna need some lessons, man. Definitely.
I mean, I never built a single thing in the server. I was terrible at building.
Oh, I thought you said you were a builder.
No, I was mostly I don't know what I'd even say. I didn't build, I didn't PvP. I kind of roleplayed, but I only got into that later on.
Okay.
I don't know, I just hung around on the server most of the time.
Like we all.
Like, you know.
Because that's literally all I did. Like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but literally my entire time running on the server was just me running around and not really doing anything, but wanting to do so much stuff. I had so many plans for the server, but I would just waste my time running around and just sprint jumping. I don't know where I was going, but I don't know. I was having a hell of a time doing it because I have all these memories.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I spend a huge amount of time on the theories, and yeah, I'm not even sure specifically how much I can say. Like, oh yeah, I definitely was doing this and this and this. Like, no, most of the time I think I was just kind of pissing about, sort of sending messages in the town chat and stuff like this.
Yeah,
but it sticks with you somehow. I remember it all.
I swear it sticks with you for some reason. It's like, it's a weird thing, and I even mentioned this in the other video. I think the Roreg Logh video. There's like so many people. Like, I would literally spend this is what I would do when I was on Ithero. Like, I would literally just run around, sprint jump, and press tab all day. And for some reason, I literally remember almost every name on there. Like, if you give me 7 names, I'll remember about 10 of them. And that's the crazy part. Like, it's weirdly timeless. Like, the memories are timeless. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because no other server I played on, I have these amount of vivid memories. And this is 6 years ago. This is one of the first servers I played on. And I have more memories of this server than I do of any server. That's HeroCraft, that's, faction servers, that's all that stuff. That's crazy to me. I don't know what it is about the server, just the magic of the server that makes you remember so well. And like you said, we were just running around pissing about half the time.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. It stuck with me, yeah, hugely. Like, I did try other servers after the end of V1. I was in... Actually, I think I saw on your YouTube channel, Lord of the Craft.
Yeah, Lord of the Craft.
Yeah, I joined that for a while as well.
Dude, that's actually pretty fun. That's probably number 2 on my all-time servers list. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really good server, and that's why I was talking about like the RP aspect. Like, I've seen like RP servers and hardcore RP servers. You don't have to do too much to add that RP element. It's just like, it's more of like a culture thing. Like, people on Athens weren't really used to it and weren't really comfortable with the idea of it, so it would never work. But like in another setting, it works just fine. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it is a large part about the community. There's three other towns that come to mind that I think are worth seeing. One of them is specifically for memory reasons. It was just the town I spent a lot of time in, but it was like a role-play town. So it sort of fits into the conversation at least. It's nice though. It started with the street.
I mean, the amount of work it required to put all these dirt blocks down to create this kind of oasis atmosphere is remarkable. Forget the builds. The builds are nice, but this is what impresses me. And they got the little angel here. They got the little angel. Look at this. Oh my god, these guys were on a mission. That's crazy, the amount of work these people put into these builds. Because most of the time, back then, 2012, you had to hand pick and hand gather all the material you want for your builds. Like on LTC, I just know most people the admins let them go into creative for a week when the server starts and just let them build. But here, it's such a hard, grinded out process to get all the material to build all this. So my hats off for all these guys, because this is crazy, man.
Being almost exclusively just the builders.
I would love to live in this town.
It up more. I think he opened it up more when he became nation head. I think.
He became a nation head. The guy who made this town.
He did, yeah. Spine became nation head, not immediately after me, but after the guy who was after me.
Okay. Oh, this is okay. I got you. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite towns for sure. Just looks like something straight out of Ithero, but it's in Ar-Selukk for sure. And that's one thing about Ar-Selukk, I wanted to touch on beforehand. It's so hard to survive here. I don't know how people do it, like how new players, like how did you survive your first few nights in Ar-Selukk? Like what did you do? Because I know you lived in a little hidey hole.
Yeah, the hidey hole saved me very much so. I do have a particularly lucky start. When I joined, okay, so around the time that I joined, this sort of did continue all throughout, the whole time of D1, but there was this like tradition, we called it traditional Ar-Selukk reading. And it was legitimately, if someone new joins the server, you convince them to leave the capital and then you kill them. That was how we said hello to new players.
You can, wait, so basically, you troll new, bro, this server's a bunch of trolls. But you said you basically convinced new players to come out the capital and then you kill them. And that's their warm welcome.
That was the traditional Ar-Selukk reading.
Anarchy at its best. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. So I got very lucky. Bizarrely, my traditional Ar-Selukk reading was from a guy called Bombs Away. He was one of the pirates. And Bombs Away is the fucking nicest guy. Bombs Away was a legend. So he stuck around me afterwards and then showed me the monastery where I met Phoenix, like the guy who like owned the monastery, and another role player guy, a guy called Large Tree. He was sort of famous, and we just sort of hung around talking for ages. And Bombs Away is like basically kind of the reason that I had such bright introduction to the server, and probably why I stuck around in Ar-Selukk despite its harshness.
Yeah.
We all just found shelter somewhere and eventually got to know people, and it was okay after that.
So what was the first town you joined actually? Was it Sorrentos or?
It was indeed Sorrentos, yeah.
So you've been in Sorrentos your entire time and you just worked your way up to become one of the nation leaders.
So yeah, I stayed in Sorrentos. Nation leader is a thing to do with the staff. How it directly happened for me was the guy who had it before me left abruptly. I'll say that. And there was no one else in the nation who would take it or the staff would accept. The latter being because of age restrictions.
Yeah.
There were other candidates in the nation. There were people who wanted to become nation head, but they were too young, basically.
What was the age requirement actually?
You had to be 18 to be in the staff.
Was it like 15 or up or 18?
What the
age?
Age that you're allowed in the staff?
Yeah.
18.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely had no chance. No
Fair.
chance.
People were young in the server.
No, for real. Like, listen, coming from me, like, I was like I said this before. I was one of the biggest squeakers of all time. Like, even one of my MONASTERY Roth tour guide actually muted me on TeamSpeak because I was such a squeaker. If you know, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, I know. That's pretty great.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't blame him. I would have muted myself.
Yeah. Well, is there videos now around? Do you have some history with your squeaky voice?
Oh my god, I do, but I'm not ready to show the world yet. I'm not ready to show the world. I talked about this before. Again, I'm not ready to show the world yet. I think maybe when I hit like 1K subs or something like that, I'll be like, okay, I'll put a snippet on the video and be like, this is how I used to sound. You know what's crazy? One of my first videos on this channel was a Athero's Ascended video, and it got so much hate and like people hated it so much. I'll post it on the forums and I'd be like, hey, did you watch my video? And like I would annoy people because I was so excited. It was on V2 and like, oh my god, people hated it so much. And, like, I don't blame them, but like at the time I was just like, damn.
Oh dear. I'll show you. Yeah, I've got two channels in mind that I think are worth seeing. So this is a strange one.
You know, it's a little bit. I'm with it. I'm with it. I
All
respect
right,
their.
all right.
I mean, a lot of farming went into this for sure.
It's called MANORA Hospital.
This is a hospital.
Yeah, the hospital's up here towards the top.
What was this town called?
MANORA.
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 Yeah.
The
It's a
melon.
weird little town.
Very unique little town.
Yeah, so
Diamond
this
blocks?
was...
Oh, this hurts me. You see this, man?
This was a town... Which, sorry?
The diamond blocks. You see this?
Yeah. This was
What
such
is
a project.
that? Like, so much diamond armor. Like, this is like a paladin's worst nightmare.
It's an insane amount of diamonds. I have no idea how they got it.
This must be one of the richest towns on the server.
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
Like, what? Like, these guys, I told
So
you, this
weird.
is one of the... This server is a great server, but it's a bunch of trolls. And these admins just allowed it. And I guess they didn't get finished
Yeah.
with the wall.
So this was run by Candle Dragon. This town was quite well respected for roleplay. So in Ar-Selukk at the least, the monastery and MONASTERY were like full-on dedicated roleplay towns.
This is
There
a
were
roleplay
other
town.
towns with role players in them, and there were other towns with like important lore stuff going on, and so on and so forth. But these two towns were like, they had constant events on, like any role players in the nation or even around the server would like visit here for some reason or another. So this weird little town became quite famous, and this generally, I think it was generally liked for its roleplay, and that somehow. That's not a good explanation, but somehow it became very, very rich because of it. I think they got a lot of donations and things like that. I'm not really sure.
No, you had to pay a toll to come here. They made you pay a fee to come to these gates. And that's how they got all those melon blocks and all those diamond blocks. There's no way.
Maybe. Maybe. There were a lot of donations from like serious towns. I remember the pirates used to donate stuff to MANORA Hospital, quite strangely.
Jesus Christ. And they even have like a little dome house. Like, it's like everything that is done wrong on MC is in this town. But but at the same time, it feels so right. At the same time, I don't know what it is. Like, they have a house. Look at this.
I think you just summed up MANORA, and like it somehow ends up feeling right anyway.
This is like the best worst meme town. I don't know what to think of this. They got a house with gold blocks and glass and iron blocks. Like, what is this? And they got mushrooms. Like, I'm amazed, but I'm also terrified. Cause like look, if anybody raids this town, they have the money to just hire a bunch of mercenaries and wage a full-on war or something. I don't know. This is crazy. I love it.
It's weird, all right. I'm gonna need to find this last town. There's one other town that sort of popped up quite late, but it became a really nice building town.
Yeah.
That's really just far outside the nation, so I'm gonna need a bit of time to reach it.
So this is the last town. These gates look amazing. There's already good stuff. They got the little creepers. Okay. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. The presentation is looking nice, and it's like kind of on the mountainside, but it was in an island. Did they create all these mountains, or?
That's a good question. They couldn't have. So I don't know.
This is like almost like kind of perfectly, like kind of placed between, like juxtaposition between a town, a little river, and then like a mountain. Like how they made this work, I don't know. This is crazy. Well, so what is this town called?
This was Rim of Nassar.
Remember Nassar? I do remember that. That name. Okay. Okay, this must be the bank or something.
Yeah, they had this story thing going on where it was like called the Empire of Nassar. So this may be a palace or something like that.
Oh wait, this is definitely a palace. What the hell? Oh, Red Ninja. I do remember that name.
Yeah,
Actually, he's one of the admins for Horizons.
Yeah, 100%. V2, he was the nation head, at least for some time. He was the nation head for Ar-Selukk. And this was his town alongside Rehab Ares? No, wait, was it? Yes, Rehab.
Yeah.
And maybe some other people, I can't quite remember.
Missy, 1990.
Rehab was the mayor, or at least I have Rehab documented as the mayor in my sheet here.
Okay. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. I thought this looked like kind of like a bank, but this is a throne room. And so this wasn't really involved in any major wars. This is kind of like just like a regular townie in Ar-Selukk.
Yeah, so this one came up quite late. So I don't remember them being very PvP inclined. I think they were, at least Red Ninja was kind of big on roleplay. I think it was mostly building, to be honest. Rehab Ares was a very big builder. It came very late, so I don't remember a lot of details about this town. When I was around, I kind of remember this palace, at least, being worked on. I have no recollection of like this huge case.
Okay, yeah, that's
Actually.
Wow. Okay, I'm at the Mage's Tower. Built like Uncle Kuno. This looks amazing.
Uncle. Yeah.
This looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
I forgot he was in this town. I think Uncle used to be in the monastery. Yeah, he was.
This is crazy. Oh, look, this is a little spiral. I'm not gonna walk all that though. Yeah, this is wild, man. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Jesus Christ. The amount of effort and time it probably took this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all these things. And like you were saying earlier, it's just sort of mind-boggling for me to think about the fact that all these materials would have been manually mined for the most part.
Manually? Like, where'd you get all this ice at? Vrovona? Probably Vrovona.
That's a bit of Vrovona, yeah.
Jesus Christ. That actually kind of reminds me of the Mages Guild. Actually, depending on the reaction I get from this, I might actually do like a special where I visit like Valenta's and the Mages Guild. So we'll have to see on that. We'll get some history.
Yeah. The Mages Guild in particular, it's absolutely beautiful.
It's
And
amazing.
that's some big events there as well.
Yeah. I remember I saw it for the first time on Jesse Cox's video. And yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
So is that how you were introduced to Ithero?
No, actually, I wasn't. My best friend from middle school, we did like, I think we met in church or something like that. He was telling me about this server. Or no, he met in class, and we were telling, it was history class. And I remember he was talking about this server, and I told him that I play MC, and he was saying, okay, I play on this after the Ascended server, and he was just juicing it up, like making it seem like it was just like this amazing thing. And I'm like, bro, this server can't be this cool. It's not gone on, and it was this fucking cool. But we were in a boring ass island in the middle of nowhere, so like there was really nothing to do. But yeah, I mean, after that I was hooked. And I remember I would be with him in history class, and we would be talking about like plans for the city and what we do when we get home, and then we hop on the game. So I mean, and we play this for hours.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember when that guy Jesse Cox, I didn't know who he was at the time, but I remember when I heard that he put out this video about the theories. Oh my god, the influx of people was incredible.
You know what the crazy part is? Like, that video wasn't even the most viewed of his kind of like outside the block series. So imagine if that got like a million views or something like that. Like the amount of players.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. Although, like, the thing is, the server for months was like crashing constantly because there were too many people. So we sort of had the maximum, you know.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I wouldn't even. That's wild.
Yeah, but Ar-Selukk in particular had. I mean, it was always a fairly quiet nation, but like all nations, had this huge influx around the time of that video.
Yeah.
And my town, Sorrento, had a big change after that. So
Oh, like so you benefited heavily from that Jesse Cox video.
yeah, it definitely had a big effect on the server as a whole.
This is a gladiator arena, apparently.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what? That's crazy. It's like right on the mountainside. Like, oh my god, this is amazing. I don't know. I might have to. I don't know if I don't know. I might have to rank this above Indonesia. I don't know. At least maybe the arena. I don't know. I think Indonesia still got an edge on it.
Mine's probably Indonesia.
Huh?
Hard, so it's a hard guess though. It's a hard vote.
Can you repeat that?
It's a hard vote between the two.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I'll give the edge to Indonesia because I'm not a really big fan of the sand.
No, you can't say that.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know why. I like the stone better. That's why I love Monas.
Man.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not into warm colors. But yeah, this is a pretty good showcase. Is there anything else you wanted to show me, or that's pretty much it? Oh, let me check this out.
I'm sure I'm forgetting some good stuff. I'm certain, but that's what's standing out to be at the moment. So I think you've got a good view of the nation and all that.
Well, if you don't remember it at this time, it probably wasn't too important, unfortunately. Like I don't want to.
Maybe
Because like no, everyone's town was important. Like everyone's cool, but some are more important than others. You know this. But yeah, man, this is a pretty good episode. I learned a lot about Ar-Selukk. You know, like I know a lot of people aren't really necessarily familiar with Ar-Selukk. But there's a lot of good history here. You know, taken from my guy FairyDL, my bad. I'm gonna stand right next to you right here. Turn around for the cameras. Yes. Yeah, is there anything you want to say in closing?
it was great. Thanks for sending me the message about this, and I'm glad I was able to show you around. I hope I showed you some interesting things. And good luck in the rest of any theories-related projects.
Yep, man. Yeah, we got 3 nations down, 3 more to go. So with that said, this is Commando signing out, and peace. Iron blocks, like, what is this? And they got mushrooms, like, I'm amazed. But I'm also terrified. Because, like,